Okay, all right, you guys. Thank you so much all for joining. We're going to get going, and I am just so excited for you guys to all be here. And I'm so excited that we have our special guest, Jill Jensen. She is amazing, you guys. She says it how it is, and I love that about her so much. And I love the fact that she'll throw a cuss word in there here and there, which is totally
That's part of my pre-warning.
okay. Good,
Is
good, good.
get earbuds if you have kids around.
Yeah. And I love that about her. But no, we just got to spend some time together in St. Thomas. So I got to know her even better there. And she is seriously just a gem. So I'm going to let you, Jill, introduce yourself and just kind of um, kick this off with our topic of mindset, because I think this is so huge. It plays the most important role in all of our businesses. And I think I'm going to let you just explain kind of why it's so important and just give us a little bit of background about yourself and then take it away. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hello everybody. I am on a sister team of most of yours. I saw that there's some new reps on here, which is really awesome, really cool. Hello, Lori, you're new. I'd love to, how long have you been in the business? I have been in since 2019. So I started like pre-COVID. And I am a double Zaya. So which how I got to that is part of this story. And going into why personal development is so important is part of this story as well. 1 week. Oh my gosh. That is so awesome. I actually have a new rep on here as well. I'll give a shout out to Melissa. She's been in for 10 days. She sold $2,000 already, you guys. Like already, she's booked 4 parties. Like, can you believe it? You new reps that are coming on are freaking amazing. Like, where do I find more of you? Like, please. Because you guys are awesome. So anyways, back to the story at hand. Personal development. So if I'm being completely honest with you, which you can guarantee you're going to get from me, I thought personal development was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I thought it was for people that needed to see a shrink and they wanted to take care of it themselves. Like literally before Zaya and when I first started Zaya, I thought that there was something wrong with them and they were just like personally taking care of it. So like they have an infection and they're using like essential oils to treat this like massive infection. Their leg needs to be cut off now. Like that was my idea of personal development. It was something was wrong with you. And like, because there was nothing wrong with me. Like, and so if I needed personal development in my head, that meant that something was wrong with me. So I was like, I don't get this personal development thing. Like, I don't need that. Like, I'm a pretty happy person. Like, I think I'm fairly normal on the normal scale. I mean, we're all a little bit, not, but like overall, like, I think I'm doing okay, like, compared to a lot of people. Now, I was in healthcare, right? So I saw a lot of people. So I did not believe that personal development was something for me. And I thought it was wackadoodle. I really did. 100%. I will be honest with you. I thought it was not something that I was interested in ever taking part in. So when I started this business, I had massive success early on. Massive success. Just kind of flew out of the gates. And then I got stuck for probably about 6 months or so, just stagnant. Like same people coming onto my team were leaving my team. My group volume was about the same. And probably for 6 months or more, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going anywhere. I feel like I'm just treading water. So like, this has been great. This has been fun, but I think the ship has sailed and it's time to say bye-bye. Like it's been great. And I've had fun. And so I drafted up my little email to corporate and I said, it's been great. Love y'all, but I'm out. And I clicked the button to submit. And I turned to my husband in the bed and I said, I'm quitting Zaya tonight. And he moved my hand away from the mouse as I unclicked it and said, no, you're not. And I said, the hell I like, let me go back to the button. Like, we're like fighting over the mouse. And I'm like, no, like, and he's like, wait. What are you talking about? Like, why would you even say that? And I'm like, well, the ship has sailed. Like, it's been great. I'm not really having fun. I feel really stuck. I think it's just kind of run its course for me. So it's time. And he's like, no, like which my husband does whatever I want, whenever I want. So like, this is very abnormal for him. So it did pique my interest a little bit and my curiosity, because he actually was like putting his foot down for once, because like, he doesn't do that. Like, he just doesn't mess. He doesn't poke the bear. I'm the pitchforks and, fire lady, guns ablazing. And he's like, let's talk about it and have a meeting about it. And I'm like, let's go. And so, it was very, an odd thing for him. So it did I was curious about like what he was thinking, because this was out of character for him. And so I was like, okay, I'll listen. So he's like, like you've had really fun with it. Maybe it's just time to do something different. And I go, what does that mean? What is different? How can I do it different? And he's like, I don't know, change it up, do something different. He goes, here's the deal. You change it up for 6 months. He goes, I'll submit the email myself. I said, deal. Like, I can get on board with this. There's no freaking way that anything's gonna change, but I'm up for the challenge. I'll do it. So I set off to course, right? Like, and so I had this very transactional business, and I was like, I'm gonna completely shift gears. I'm gonna do this transformational business. I'm gonna like do it completely different. Well, what I didn't realize when I committed to this was that personal development was one of the biggest components of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. We've already went over this. Like, I'm not crazy. I don't need to see a shrink. Like, I don't need professional help. I'm just a little crazy, not like that crazy. And so I didn't think that was it, but I committed to this, so I was going to do it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to add this personal development piece. I'm going to take this in full on, because in 6 months, I'm going to tell you, I told you so. And I'm having you submit the email with the smiley face. Okay. But I am committing to this. So I commit to it. And the funniest thing happened is that my business started to rise to the level of me. Like, as I grew, my business grew. As I started to act like an executive, next thing I knew, I was an executive. When I started to act like a Xi exec, next thing I knew, I was a Xi exec. Like, it was the strangest thing. I was like, I don't quite understand how this is happening, but literally the only thing that is changing is like how I'm acting and how I'm presenting myself. Like, as I act like that, I set intentions, and I set actions, and I set beliefs, and then I get there. I mean, it's not instant. It's not like today I'm going to be an executive and then like tomorrow you're one, right? Like, that's not how it works. But over time, I continued to act like that. And sure as shit, I ended up one. All the way to that in 6 months, I got to double Zaya from the purgatory that I was in for months. That same amount of time, with this mindset shift and this change, I became a double Zaya. And like, literally, I cannot contribute it to anything else. Like, I don't know, like, and I didn't want it to be that, but it's kind of like one of those things, right? Like, the thing that you think you're not supposed to do, right? Like, I would never be a public speaker, right? Like, and those people are the ones on stages like, hey, look at me now, I'm the public speaker, right? Like, those big things that you say like, oh, that's not me, it's not authentic. Like, maybe those are the things that we're actually called to do, like, so like, I was so apprehensive to this personal development that maybe it was like, oh, I get it now. Like, now I have my own worksheets. I, coach on this all the time on my team. Like, and that's what we're going through tonight. Like, and so it's, the irony is just so thick, right? So my goal tonight is not to make you happy all the time. I get this all the time with my sheets. They're like, you just want us to be happy all the time. No, I don't. That is not what the sheets are about. The sheets are not about making you happy all the time. Okay. That is not the goal of the sheets. I loathe and I hope there's no like teen names with this on this or this. I always contemplate like, should I say it or not? Because I don't know like some of the stuff. But I'll say it anyways. I hate fearless. Like I hate that word because in my sheets, you will see that there's a bullshit side, okay, and there's a badass side, okay. And that's what this talk was partly called, right? So that bullshit side, if you take action from bullshit, you get bullshit, okay? Like if you take action from a place of scarcity and fear and anxiety and all that, guess what? That's what vibe you give off. And of course, people don't want to hang out with you, right? Of course, people say no because you took action from a side that was bullshit. So you get bullshit out. Okay. That's just the way it is. That's the facts. But if you take action from a place of capability, enough, worth, you get a different result. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm so excited. I love these sheets so much. So that is the goal, is not for you to be fearless. The goal is for you to take action from courage. Take action from courage. Okay. You're not supposed to be fearless. You don't, fake it till you make it. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in any of that. So a couple ground rules for the sheets. Okay. There's a couple things that you have to commit to. Number one, you're the problem. Okay. It's not your upline. It's not your team. It's not your unsupportive spouse. It's not that. Okay. Ground rule. It doesn't mean that it doesn't make it harder. It doesn't mean that it doesn't suck. I didn't say that. Those things do suck. That sucks. I didn't have an upline. That sucks. Like, but does it make it impossible? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We're all have different talents. We all have different, God-given gifts. And so like, which ones of those are fair then? Come on. Like, it is what it is. It's the circumstance. They don't support you. Okay. That doesn't mean that you can't succeed unless you make it mean that. But you make it mean that. And you need to own that. You need to own it. It's not your upline's fault. Okay? It's not your upline's fault. What do they have to do with your actions? What do they have to do with your feelings? You choose those. They don't. This is regaining control of yourself, your life, and ultimately your results. Because your results are a reflection of your feelings, your emotions, your stories that you're telling yourself. Those are up here. Doesn't mean that it doesn't suck sometimes. Doesn't mean that some people don't suck. They do. There's lots of sucky people that say shitty things, that are mean, that are rude, that are all the things. They are. But you still choose how you react to it. Those are your emotions and you need to own them as yours and control them as yours. So number one, you're the problem. If you're not the problem, we can't fix you. Then there's just external circumstances going on. And what's the point of even trying? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Like, if I'm not I want me to be the problem, because if I'm the problem, I can fix it. Then I'm the solution. So I want to be the issue. I want to find what's wrong. I want to know how I can get better because I can make it better. If it's anybody else's problem, then I can't fix it. Then I don't have control. Then they do. And that's not what I want, right? Number two, you have to assume positive intent. What does that mean? People are out to get you. You're not the belly button of the universe, y'all. Like, they forgot about you already. They did. Like, you're not that important. Like, I hate to break it to you, but they already forgot. Like, they said something nasty and mean to you. They moved on with their life and you're still thinking about it. Like, they didn't think about it for one more second in the day. They've moved on. Okay. You have to assume positive intent. So even if people do say something that is hurtful to you, I'm not saying that people don't say hurtful things. Okay. I'm saying that they do that because of a reflection of themselves. They do that because that's what was taught love was. feel sorry for those people. They need extra love, y'all. Like, so send them some hugs and some kisses and move on with your life, because they have like, they need some extra like hugs for the day. Okay. So you have to assume positive intent. Like, people aren't like, oh, I'm gonna get Jackie today for sure. Like, I'm gonna send her this zinger and like, I hope she feels like shit about herself. Like, come on, you guys. Like, seriously, you think that like people, even in here, even if you don't like them, like are honestly like pigeoning you each day to like make sure that you feel bad? Like, come on, like, no way. Like I said, but that doesn't mean that those things aren't hurtful to you. So I do appreciate that. Like, but we have to assume that they're, not purposefully doing that, right? But there are hurtful things that are said. There are things that happen in life that suck. All those things are true. But we have to assume that like it's not personal attacks. Okay. So tonight, do I have like a host thing that I can share a screen?
Yeah, let me switch it over to you. Oh, shoot. I just accidentally muted you. Jill, if you want to unmute yourself, and I'll make you the host.
Yep. I can do that.
Okay, you should be good now.
Luckily, I did this on the computer, because the iPad, I'm always like, can't figure it out. If you guys have bounced from an iPad to this, you know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna get to the sheet. So this is a tool for you guys to use. Number 1, your head got you in this place in the first place. Your head is not going to get you out of it. So you cannot think the sheet. Okay, you cannot think the sheet. Your head's the problem. You've thought wrong for insert years here, 40 years. So thinking about it isn't going to do it. You have to write it down. Okay, you have to write it down. You cannot think your way out of this. Okay, so everybody wants to do the sheet in their head. You can't do the sheet in your head. I don't know how much more clear I can be. Like, the sheet needs to have it on a piece of paper. 2, you do not actually need this physical sheet. I will give it to you all, but you do not need the physical sheet to do it. I literally have never written down a sheet. I make a line in the middle of a page with some stripes and I fill it in. It'll make sense in a second. So you don't need the physical sheet, okay? You can make your little lines, put the words that are in the center, and do the sheet, okay? So let's do this. Can you guys see that? You guys, oh, there you are. You're over there. I can't go away this thing, because I want to see the sheet. Okay, so here is the sheet. We're going to go through an example, and I'm going to go through each box. Okay. So we always start with the story or the feelings. You're going to find that you're either a storyteller, okay, or that's, I don't know how, I'm a bad leader, nobody wants parties, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Insert made up story here that is not fact. Okay. Or you're a feelings person. I am so frustrated with my business. Okay. I'm so annoyed. I'm so insert emotion here. Okay. Either way, first of all, any negative emotion is a bullshit story. Okay. Because you're either assuming that person's out to get you, you're not following the first ground rules. Okay. Or it's a made up story. Okay. So any negative emotion is a bullshit story. So I don't care what it is. My kids are so annoyed with me because they come to me and I'm like, okay, like, what's that got to do with anything? Like, how are you going to fix it? Like, how are you going to make it better? Like, I do these sheets to them all the time and they're like, Mom, why do you have to be positive all the time and look at like outcomes that are like happy? And I'm like, because like, you want to live sad all the time? Like, is that the answer you want? Like, I'm confused. So you're a storyteller or you're a feelings person. Okay. Some are both, some are mixed. I am a feelings person, probably for sure. So you're going to start with one of those two. Okay. And then you're going to fill in the other one. So let's use the example of, nobody wants to have a party. Okay. That's my story. Nobody wants to have a party. Nobody wants a party. Nobody wants a party. Nobody wants a party. That's why I can't get any parties. That's why I'm not successful in my business, because nobody wants a freaking party. Okay. That's a bullshit story. That's not true, because if we went around the room, how many of us have a party this month? So that's not reality. View. I want to let these people in. Admit. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Sidetracked. It's like buttons that I got to do that too. So nobody wants a party. How does that make me feel? Okay. You get one feeling. You get one feeling, bro. You don't get 16, because I hate to break it to you. Every one of those emotions is a different story, is a different sheet. Get ready to do some writing, y'all. It makes me feel like a failure. Okay. It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel frustrated. It makes me feel angry. Like, how does it make you feel? Okay. One overriding emotion. Okay. This is my favorite one. So there's a reason why the action section is the biggest. Okay. Because you should be writing the most there. So the answer to the action section of like, what do I do if no one wants a party and I feel like crap about myself? The answer is not do nothing, because you don't sit in the corner and do nothing. You know what you do? You scroll Facebook. And you comment on other people's posts, and you like and heart them, and you watch endless TikTok videos, and you go and clean the bathroom, and then you rearrange your closet for the 16th time, and then you go walk the dog again for the 25th time today, because they clearly need another walk. This is called buffering activities, and it's really important for you to become aware of what you do when you're uncomfortable, what you do to avoid real actions that will get you the feelings that you want, right? Like, because ultimately, obviously, all of us want to be proud. All of us want to feel accomplished. All of us want to feel good, right? And some of those things give us that instant gratification of like, I did something and I feel good about it. But then it's very fleeting, right? Like, we watch the thing, it's funny, it makes us feel good, and then we need to watch another to feel good. But we can't generate that by actually what we're doing and the purpose and the fulfillment that we're bringing to ourselves. So we constantly are feeding off of it, right? So we need to put in this box what we're doing instead, okay? Because this is going to bring awareness to that, right? Like, because all of a sudden, once you do a few of these sheets and you're scrolling Facebook, you're like, I'm freaking doing it again. I'm screwing myself. I'm self-sabotaging myself. I can feel it. I know that I shouldn't be doing this, right? You know, not that there's anything wrong with scrolling Facebook, but you have to realize that there's business time and personal time. And too often those collide and you think you're doing business. You're not. You're scrolling Facebook, bro. Like, you're not doing business. You're scrolling and you're buffering and you're avoiding something. Okay. So I want you to bring awareness to what that activity is, and then allow yourself to make the choice that right now, that's what I want to do. And that's where my mind is. Okay. But that's a choice, right? Because a lot of times we don't let it be a choice. It's filling in for an emotion we're searching for. So we want to bring awareness to what our buffering activities are, because it will help us recognize when we're in that state and then choose for that to be our action for right now or not. Okay. So then ultimately, if I say nobody wants any parties, I feel like a failure, I scroll Facebook endlessly, my result is I have no party, right? That's what the result ends up being. And I can't tell you the number of people that, you know, message me and they're like, Jill, nobody wants any parties. And I'm like, oh, well, how many people did you message since the beginning of the month? Well, none. And I'm like, huh, how many posts did you put up about it? None. When's the last time you did follow-ups? I don't know, like 2 months ago. Oh, okay. So like, did you expect your neighbor to walk next door and knock on your door and say, I want a party? Like, I'm confused. Like, and so, but we get this stuck in our head, right? We make that our reality. We are choosing to feel like a failure. Okay, that was rule number 1 in the ground rules, right? Like, we choose our emotions, we choose our feelings. Okay, we're choosing to feel like that, and that's where I want you guys to own that. And sometimes own it. Sometimes, girl, go get a bottle of wine and sit on the couch and just feel like shit for the day. That's okay. It's okay to eat a pint of ice cream once in a while and do nothing. But you can't do that every day. You can't do it every day. At some point, you have to put your foot down and say, I choose not to feel like that today. I choose something else. Because that is a choice. But yeah, sometimes I do just feel like drinking some vodka cranberries and, snuggle on the couch and watch some Netflix, but like, I make that choice, and I want you to make that choice too. And that's okay. We're not saying like every day you have to be like a militant soldier and like, I'm a loser if I don't. Like, no, that's not what this is about. This is about you always having the option of like, right now, I just want to be angry. Yep. Right now, I just want to be angry. Okay, good. Let me, like, when you're not, and then you can choose, like, I'm ready to move on now. And then you have a tool to move on with. Okay. So we fill out that side. This is going to be really easy for you all. Okay. You're going to get to this side and you're going to be like, I got this, because we're really good at making up bullshit. We're really good at making up bullshit. Okay. So this side is going to be extremely easy, except for the actions. That might take some thinking. This side will be very easy, which we get to the other side. It's going to become more difficult because you've never had to think like this. That's why it's so important to write it, is because you've never had to cognitively think like this before. Okay. So we did the bullshit side. Okay. After the bullshit side is done, we go to the top where it says facts. Okay. Facts are facts. Facts are neutral. Facts is what we can choose whether they're positive or negative. Okay. No one wants any parties is not a fact. There's plenty of us that have parties this month. So that's not a fact. Okay. I don't care if you've asked everybody in your group, then you've done it from a bullshit side. And that's why you don't have the results. It's because I told you, if you do it from the bullshit side of you're asking people and you say nobody wants a party, you've created that result. Because that's the vibe that you've given off. It's just like, think about when you go to a restaurant and you have a server and they hate their life. They hate their job. They still served you. They still gave you your menus. They still got the food out on time, but they hate their life. Okay. They don't want to be here. Okay. They still gave you the same like bare minimums. Like, they brought your food. They checked in on you. They made sure you liked it, but you're like, wow, they like did their dog die? Like, are they okay? Like, should they be here? Like, like, do I give her a hug? What do I do? Like, how do I make it better? Like, so there's a difference. There's a vibe. Like, people feel it. And so whether you like it or not, if you ask from a bullshit side, you're not going to get the results you want, or you're not going to get them very often. Okay. If we can change this, if we can harness this and change how we think, what story we're telling us, what emotions we have, then we can change our results. We can change our results. It starts with the facts. Okay. This is a true story. Okay. This is holdable in the count of law. So I don't know how to do it. That's a bullshit story. Okay. That's a bullshit story. Okay. Oh, I forgot this one. In the bullshit side, on the actions, trainings, getting ready to get ready. That's in there too. Podcasts. That's in there too. In the buffering section. I know I'll listen to a podcast and then I'm going to know everything. No, you're still not going to take action, bro. Like, you're just doing it. You feel good during the podcast and then you don't do it still. So facts. Okay. Holdable in a court of law. Okay. So what is my fact of my bullshit story of nobody wants any parties? I have 0 parties. That's a fact. I have no parties booked for March. Okay. That's a fact. I can choose to feel like crap about that, or I can choose to make something happen. Okay. But that is a fact. Okay. I'm a bad leader. Nope. That's a bullshit story. Okay. The real facts of it would be I have 2 people on my team that are 0s. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, let's work through that, you know? So we need to separate what is a story that's made up here that limits us. Because we can't make a badass story from a bullshit story. Okay, we need the facts. Okay, so you need a backup from the picture, and you need to recognize things for what they are, not for what you think they are, not for what your feelings and emotions tell you. Okay, what is the facts? The facts is I don't have a party book for March. Okay, great. Okay. Once we have our fact down, we're going to turn our piece of paper around. So literally taking it and rotating it on itself, just like that little arrow thing down there says. And then the results are at the top. Okay. The bullshit side is gone. Okay. We flip that piece of paper. We're choosing to move on and be a badass. Okay. That's a choice. If you're not ready, go eat your ice cream. Okay. If you're ready, let's do this shit. Okay. So we're going to build this from the facts. The facts is I have no parties in March. What result do I want? Parties in March. That's a good answer. Okay. But even making this more specific will make this more powerful. Okay. So in the next 2 weeks, I want to book 2 parties for March. Okay. That's the result that I want. Okay. Specificity is always good. Okay. So if you've done anything about goal setting, if you're not achieving things, if you're not moving, if you're not progressing, make things more specific. Specificity creates clarity. Clarity creates confidence. Okay. So specific, the result that I want, which a result is not, I want to talk to 5 friends about a party. That's not a result, girlfriend. That is just talking to people. No, a result is a concrete thing that you did or you didn't do. Stop being afraid of failing. Be excited to succeed instead. That's what this freaking sheet is all about. Like, stop going to that side. Like, that side is gone. You want a result. What result do I want? I'm booking 2 parties by the end of February or March. Okay. That's the result that I am choosing to work towards. Okay. What actions do I need to take to do that? Right? We're moving down the sheet. Well, I mean, I guess I should put up a post about it and probably follow up with the likes and the hearts. I mean, I did say that I didn't do any follow-ups for the last 2 months. So that would probably be a good idea, is I print out my follow-up list and every day I'll go through 2 of those. And I haven't checked in with past hosts that I've had the last couple of years. So maybe I should go back to some past hosts. Okay. And I'll ask 2 of those a day, right? Specificity is good. Specificity gives us concrete. Specificity allows us to feel accomplished, the things that we're looking for, right? Like, because if we can check that box, then we can feel like we did something, because that list of, purchasers could be really long, and you could get through 10 of them, but you didn't book a party, or it didn't get there enough. And you're like, yeah, but I didn't do good today. Didn't do good today. You haven't followed up with a purchaser in 2 months, bro. And you just asked 10 people in one day how their purchase was. Like, I'd say that's pretty good compared to the last 2 months, but we don't allow ourselves to feel good, right? And so specificity allows us to feel good about ourselves. Okay. Allows us to feel accomplished. And we want as much of that as we can. So we set up this action, right? So the next one down, because the paper's upside down, right? Is feelings. So when I book my 2 parties, right? This is my reality, right? Your bullshit side, you were pretending like that was real, and it wasn't. Okay. Because you hadn't asked anybody in 2 months, right? So this is our reality. Like, you believe that side, you can believe something good about yourself for once. Okay. So we're going to choose a feeling. Okay. So once I've booked 2 parties, shit, let's make it 3. Like, I'm feeling like I can do extra, right? Once I book 3 parties by the end of this month, and I've taken all those actions that I've set out, how am I going to feel about myself? Well, I feel pretty damn proud of myself. I'd feel accomplished. I'd feel, insert feeling here. One feeling. You get one feeling. Insert feeling here. Okay. So whatever that might be, you pick it. Like it's how will you feel when that happens? Because it's gonna, because you're choosing for it too. And that's a choice. Okay. So for me to book 3 parties, so I up the ante a little bit, do all those actions and feel proud of myself, what story do I have to tell myself? What story do I have to tell myself? Okay. I will tell you that 99% of the time, it's one of these 3-4 stories. So the story that you need to tell yourself to book the parties, take the actions, have the feeling that you want to feel is one of probably these 4. Okay. I'm capable. I'm enough. I'm worthy. I'm deserving. I'm a badass. What do you got to tell yourself? What do you got to tell yourself to have that feeling, take those actions, have that result? What is it? That's what goes in that box. Because you are. You're telling me you're not capable of messaging 2 people a day? Like, come on, right? Like, allow yourself to choose your feelings, your emotions, and therefore your results based on facts and seeing things for what they actually are. Okay. That is a choice. And the people that have done this training on my team, they're like, gosh, I can't even like, I love you, but I hate you for this because I recognize everything now. Like I recognize all these stories and all this stuff that like is constant. And I felt completely overwhelmed when I first started these sheets. When I first started these sheets, I'm like, I really thought that I was a positive person. Like I really thought that I like didn't have all this negativity. But as I gain control of this, it's almost become exciting. Like I want to find it because I know it's unlocking like my potential. Like because I know that the only thing stopping me is me. That's it. And you guys too. Like the only thing that's stopping you is you. There's nobody in this business that can't do what we're doing. There's nobody, there's no cap that Zaya doesn't say there's only 15 double Zayas that are ever allowed in the company. And then after that, it's cut off. Okay. Like there is none of that. Like you can be whatever you want to be. You can go as high as you want to go. You can do whatever you want. Okay. And so, you know, the goal of this is really to change those stories in our head that is in between our ears. And choose courage, choose worth, choose deserving, choose enough, because every single one of us is. There's not a limit to the amount of love, about the amount of capableness, of the amount of any of that. There's no cap, there's no box on that. And this is what will help you be able to retrain your mind to think in a way that stops you from stopping yourself. Because that's what that is. Because I know, I believe that every single one of you is capable of this, is worthy of this, is enough for this. But me believing that doesn't matter. Because it doesn't change your results. You need to believe that. And if you're somebody that does have people on your team, and I won't dare say leader, because I believe, I'll take this off of, because you don't need to see that anymore. I believe that if you have just yourself, you are a leader. You're a leader already with just you. Because if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead anybody else. So like, if you're looking like, oh, I'm going to feel like a leader once I get to executive, I'm going to feel like a leader. No, you're not. You're not, because you're not doing these sheets. You won't feel like a leader then either. You'll feel like an imposter. You won't. What you're searching for, sorry, it's here. But you gotta let it out. Only you can do that. Only you can do that. And you have to work through you. You have to do it. I can't do it for you. If you are somebody that does have a team, these are absolutely wonderful for coaching on your team. I use them constantly. And if anybody on my team is here, they're going to start to see through my own scheme on them. But I use these all the time. So for my newer reps, I do these sheets and I used to write them out, but I've done a lot of these, the same stories with a lot of people now for 4 years. And so like some of them I already have like pre-done them out, but I used to write these in place of to be able to coach people. Okay. Because being somebody's hype girl and being like, I believe in you so much, you can do this. I know you can do this. If you're not addressing the actual feelings of the negative emotions, you're just a hype girl. You're not actually leading anybody. You're not actually helping anybody. Like, you need to address the negative emotions. Like, hey, why are you frustrated in your business? Well, because I nobody wants any parties. Girl, I know it can be really frustrating when you can't get a party and it makes you feel like you're failing in your business. But here's the deal. Like, I know that you're capable enough, and I bet we can set up an action plan together that will get you there. What do you say? Do you want to do that with me? Would you be willing to try? Okay. And then we can walk them through how to do that, right? Then we can give them little tasks to do to help them get the result that they want, that they're looking for, that they need to feel good about them, their business, or that. Like, that's what we need to do for our team. You don't need to sit there and be like, I believe in you. Like, you can do it. Like, that doesn't help. Like, if you think it does, it doesn't. Or it does for 5 minutes because it's just buffering. Like, you're not addressing the problem. The problem is they feel like shit about themselves because they're believing a story that's not true. You need to walk them through that. You need to take them through that. You need to empower them, not just clap for them. It's more than that. Like, you need to take that to the next level. You need to elevate yourself. These sheets, literally coaching, personally, all the things, like, you have to have them. You have to have them. You have to write them. I don't know how many of you are going to come to me and you're going to be like, I feel like this. And I'm like, did you write the sheet? And you're like, no, but I did it in my head. And I've asked it like 15 times before because I know they're like, oh yeah, I did a sheet. I'm like, oh yeah, let me see it. They're like, oh, well, I did mine in my head. And I'm like, you just go away, like, come back when the sheet's done. But these are going to be so powerful for you guys. So powerful for yourself personally, and then to be able to coach people through things. Remember, any negative emotion is a bullshit story. Any negative emotion is a bullshit story. Even if somebody's a mean jerk to you, if you feel that way, you're not doing the ground rules. And it's a sheet that you need to write. Doesn't mean that people aren't shitty, but you're allowing someone to have power over you and choose how you feel. That's not fair. And who would let someone that's a jerk anyways allow them to have that power over them? Because you're allowing them to make you feel like that. You choose your emotions, you choose your story, and therefore you determine your results 100% of the time. Okay, that's what I got.
I don't even know what to say because it was so good. I'm like lost for words. It was amazing, Jill. Like, seriously, I'm like staring at you in awe right now. Like, I just want to keep listening because this is so, I just feel like every single person in this business needs to hear that. That was absolutely incredible. And it's just so many things I was thinking about, which Sarah, I think Sarah, you're still on here.
I see her, yeah.
Yeah. But she talked about, we had her kind of do a little bit of this for a training, and she said that she uses this in all aspects. Oh, now I'm getting emotional. What, Jill? Damn you! But it's so true. Like, I was just thinking about like even things that you deal with your kids, and so good. Like, so many
Half the
in
sheets,
your life.
half the
Yeah.
sheets that I get from people on the team are personal. It's amazing how much of your personal life is affecting your business. So that's a great point, is you're gonna feel like you have so many going on. Go to the one that you want to take action on right now. So if right now is business time, focus on the business one. If right now is time to be with your family, figure out your family. Like, I've literally done these on spilt milk. Like, I've done these sheets literally on spilt milk because I've been so angry at my kids over spilt milk. Like, I've done this on wrapping Christmas presents because I was salty about wrapping Christmas presents. And by the end, I was singing Christmas carols and drinking wine and happily doing my wrapping. Like, literally any negative emotion that you have is a sheet,
Yeah.
is a choice.
So good. Seriously, don't even. I mean, you're getting all those. You have us all in tears, and everybody is just. I mean, so good. I feel like we're gonna have to have you on for a part two because it was absolutely incredible. Well, real quick before we let Jill go, because I know I don't want to, but I know your time is precious. But does anyone have any quick questions for Jill or comments?
Yeah,
Or
anything. Like I said, I love talking about this, as Sarah knows. Like, I love people, taking people through like, oh, really? Is that true? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, that's true. Nobody wants a party. I have 5. Like,
yeah,
well, maybe not.
anybody? Well, it was so good. I'm just so excited to post this so more people can listen. So I just feel like I know it's a busy week. People have sports and different events going on. And so I just appreciate you, Jill, so much for doing
Yeah.
this. Again, you didn't have to do this. You took time, and it's so good. I just have so many things I'm taking away from it. And I just appreciate you so much. So if no one else has
Megan,
anything, anyone have
Megan,
anything?
be
Yeah.
sure to let people know to have Kleenex with them when they watch this,
Yeah,
though.
I will. I will. I saw you had to
Oh,
take your face off for a while. That's
mhm.
good.
What was that, Cindy? Like, what struck you, or like, because I think that's something super powerful to share. Like, what about it like made you emotional?
All of the above.
Mhm.
I commented earlier, I'm the master BSer, I guess. All the
We all
things,
are.
all those things, when you talked about starting to scroll through Facebook and, check, 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 check. And, if I could just put that aside and get down to business and focus on doing it well and doing it um, positively instead of putting myself down or all those things you
Mhm.
said is just me.
Yep.
So it was
Yeah,
great.
and I think that's too, Cindy. Like, another good point is like, when you're doing these, and I say this all the time, and I'm sure Sarah has heard me say this, like, you're not that special. And what I mean by that is that the emotions that you have, and like the feelings that you have, like, I suck, I fail at this, I'm like the worst human on the planet, I'm insert whatever here. We all feel that way. Like, I feel that way too, Cindy. Like, I need the sheets too. I'm not immune to that. And I will never be immune to that. These sheets are not to make me immune to ever having a negative thought about myself. These sheets are to make me limitless, right? Like, these sheets are for me to be courageous. I'll get it out. Courageous. Okay. So these aren't here, like I said, kind of that happy, right? These aren't here for those things to go away. Like, and so a lot of people do these sheets and they're like, but Jill, I still feel negative emotions. I still feel, though, like sometimes that I'm not doing enough. My big bullshit story is always about not being enough. It's never good enough. What I do is never good enough. I can always do more, right? And you'll find that you kind of have a theme to yours of like worthiness or deserving or mine is enough. It's never enough. It's never good enough. I always could have done better. I wish I wouldn't have said this. I wish I should have said that instead. Then it would have been good, right? We all kind of have an overarching theme that we have to what we create in our head. And so each and every one of you are not unique in that you have these feelings about yourself. So never feel alone or ashamed. I was so ashamed when I started these and some of the stuff that I wrote. I was like I raised children. Like this is terrible. Like how am I like I'm not fit to be a mother. Like you know, like because you start to bring awareness to like some of these feelings and these emotions, and it's overwhelming sometimes at first. But know that this is the way to not to show your children how to work through things, right? Like, because we're not showing them the good way right now. We're getting frustrated, we're yelling, we're screaming, or maybe that's just me at my kids. You know, like we're acting so emotional. So if we can learn to do this and we can get better at it, then we're better for everyone. Like I don't yell at my husband nearly as much as I used to. I'm way better than I used to be. And so like all kidding aside though, it's true. Like I laugh at it, but like we all yell at our kids. We all like, you know, all those things, right? So don't feel alone. Please don't try not to feel ashamed of how you feel, or you know the rawness that some of this can bring out when you first start doing them. It's completely normal, natural, like and just realize that like gosh, that's what I was choosing. Okay, let's go. Like I'm not that though. And now I have a tool to change it. Before I didn't. And now you have an awareness. So once you have an awareness, you can, you know, it's like, you know, having an addiction. Like you have to admit you have the addiction before you can like move on from it, right? Like it's the same thing. Like you didn't know any better. Like, you know, like because I really was hard on myself when I first started doing these. Like, gosh, like I wish I would have had these sooner. Like, where would I be in my life, and how much better would my life be, and how many people I wouldn't have hurt with my overreactions, and how many like, and it was just like this stream of all that. Like you got it now. You have an awareness now. You didn't have an awareness before, so how are you supposed to know? So, you know, try to give yourself grace and patience as you go through these.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Well, I don't want to end it, but I have to. So good. Thank you again, Jill, so much. Appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone jumping on here. I will get the recording posted so we can share it with all of our teams. And thank you, Jill. This was seriously, this was gold. It was amazing. So thank you.
Good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
All right, ladies. Thanks everyone so much. Have a good night, everyone.
See ya.